So today's all about one of my secret weapons that has allowed me to take my initial success and then grow it by a factor of 10, and then grow that by a factor of 10, and then grow that by a factor of 10. So you keep on doing that, and there's some secret sauce behind it. And for me, it's been the mastermind. The power of the mastermind is absolutely incredible. And so, as far as I know, it was first mentioned in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich back in 1937, and and he said, gaining power through the mastermind. The mastermind may be defined as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definitive purpose. And then he goes on that says, no individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind. So for me, when I started out way back in the 90s, what I quickly learned is that this online business can be lonely. You know, you're sitting there behind a computer and you're typing stuff in, and maybe you're sending out emails, and these days maybe you're posting a video or what, but it can be a very lonely place. You're all by yourself, and I'm an introvert, and so that suits me to a degree, but at some point it just gets a little lonely. So right from the start, I would always reach out and try to make connections with other people who I saw were doing business online. But then in late 1999, early 2000, I actually became involved in a more formal mastermind. And this was mostly an email-based group. In fact, it was 100% email-based back at that time. And I became part of that. And there was, I don't know, maybe 30 people in it. And we would trade emails pretty much every single day. And the interesting thing is that in the year after that, or the year or 2 years after that, I doubled my business very, very quickly just by hanging out with other people that were really supportive, that I could bounce my ideas off of, or I could give them feedback on their ideas, and we could share strategies and tactics, and just having that support group. Well, it's hard to isolate it completely, but I doubled my business very, very quickly. And then a few years later, I got involved in another mastermind, and this was a little bit different. It was more phone-based. But once again, in just a few years right after that, I doubled my business again. And then a number of years later, I got involved in another mastermind, and this one was it was email based, but we'd also get together and have meetings, in-person meetings. And I got in that one, and I more than doubled my business yet again. And so, and it's just gone on that way. And then I took it to the next level, and a lot of ways I felt like I kept on outgrowing these groups. And you want to be around, you want to, just people that can pull you higher and push you to grow bigger in every way. And so in 2010, I'm like, okay, I feel like I keep on outgrowing these groups. So now I have to I want to create the perfect mastermind for me. And that's when I started my Platinum Plus group. And this is a group, and there are paid, I'll talk a little bit more about masterminds later and how they can be organized. But this one is a group I actually formed, and they were like of my highest level clients. And that started in 2010. It's still going strong. We're, in our 6th year now. It's been an amazing group. People pay a lot of money to be in that group. We meet 3 times a year. We're also in contact via email every single day. But it's been absolutely amazing. In fact, in the last year, I've been to, I went to Kenya with one person in my Plus group, and Brazil with another person in my Plus group, and Guadeloupe in the French West Indies with another person in my Plus group. So, in addition to really helping grow my business and being something that just keeps on pushing me higher, I've also made fantastic friends in that group. And so the deal with the mastermind is that you definitely want to be in a group where you're not the smartest person in the room. This isn't a function where you want to be in there and you want to be holding court and you want to just be, be the big shot in the room. You want to be with people that will push you higher. There's this idea that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And I truly believe in that, because we are social creatures as humans. and we look for clues on how to act from the people around us. And if we have people around us who are achieving great things, that will inspire us to create great things. And this doesn't just go for money. This goes for everything in your life, from your health to your relationships, to your contribution. Everything in your life is driven by taking clues from the people around you. So you got to be really careful who you hang out with. And when you're in a mastermind, you're in a group of people you've come together to support each other. That's why you're in the group. And you need to have people that are very giving people and generous people, and people that will hold you accountable and hold you accountable to a higher standard, because that's really that's how we grow. Is we see a bigger vision for ourselves and a bigger vision for the people around us, and then we go and get that vision. That's what I've learned in the 20 years in this journey, is everything we create in our minds first. And when we have a group of people surrounding us, like in a mastermind, then that's how you sort of program this in, so you're constantly being pulled and pushed higher. Now, there's lots and lots of different kinds of groups. There's paid groups, there's not paid groups. I've been in both. In general, the paid groups are better because you're more accountable if you're actually paying into them, and people tend to show up in a bigger way. But I've been in groups that have, non-paid groups that have been really, really good as well. They just have to be curated really well. There has to be someone that leads the group. How do you get in a mastermind group? For me, it's mostly, I've been in masterminds with people, outside of the Plus group that I started, and I curate that group, and myself and my team curates it very, very carefully. And by the way, you can't get in. It's perpetually sold out. We have it's a limited number of people, and people almost never leave. We have over 90% people return every single year. And so I've got a whole bunch of people that have been in it for 6 years with me. So in general, it's the toughest room, the toughest group to get into in the entire industry. But in general, if you're forming a group or you want to get involved in a group, I've found usually just connecting with people online is okay, but mostly getting out to events and connecting with people at events. And that's where I've met most of the people that I've been in masterminds with. You can have lots of different formats. You can do phone-based, you can do email-based, you could do, social media, you can have a Facebook group. In person is always the strongest and most powerful. And the best groups that I've been in have been a combination of those. So like in my Plus group, because I've been in a bunch of groups over the years, and learned what works, we do, 3 in-person meetings, we have email, we have a Facebook group, so lots of different ways to connect, but we're always getting together face-to-face 3 times a year, because that's where there's just so much more that happens when you are face-to-face. So get in a mastermind group and get in a group that will pull you higher, not a group where you're the smartest person in the room. And one more bonus tip, almost most of the entrepreneurs I know have read this book. It's sort of like, your first step on becoming an entrepreneur is you go and get this book. But the one by Napoleon Hill that I like much more than that one, because this one he talks about Think and Grow Rich. And he says, when I say rich, it doesn't necessarily mean just money. But really, this book is just about money. But this one, which Napoleon Hill, when he wrote a little bit later in his life, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, is a lot more about leading a full life and being rich in every area of your life, including your health and your relationships and your contribution to the world. So this, I'd suggest this one instead of Think and Grow Rich. Great book. So I'm Jeff Walker. I've been in business now. I'm celebrating in just a few days. I'm celebrating my 20-year anniversary of starting my online business. I'm one of the original graybeards. Not too many people have been around doing business online for 20 years. And so I thought to celebrate this, I just spend 30 days and put out a video a day and just share some of my trials and tribulations and some of my wins and some of my challenges and some of my setbacks, and just share them with you every day. So if you're at jeffwalker.com, at my blog at jeffwalker.com, if you're on my Facebook page, if you're on my YouTube channel, just scroll down, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you'd like me to cover. And if you think this could be useful to someone, or you think there's someone you think you might want to get in a mastermind with, this might be a good conversation starter, go ahead and share it with them. And let's go get them this week.